Deep in northeastern Utah, hidden within the Uinta Basin, sits a 512-acre stretch of isolated land. It takes its name from Navajo folklore. A skinwalker is described as a malevolent, shape-shifting witch capable of taking the form of animals or terrifying monsters. For generations, indigenous tribes actively steered clear of this specific geography. Oral histories passed down through the region warned that something dangerous occupied the soil long before the arrival of modern settlers. The locals didn't view this space as an open frontier ready to be claimed. They treated it as an ancient containment zone for an entity they knew better than to disturb. In 1994, Terry and Gwen Sherman arrived. Hoping to build a successful cattle ranch, they overlooked the region's heavy history and moved their family directly onto the property. The quiet didn't last. One evening, they found a creature standing dangerously close to their livestock. It looked like a wolf, but it was massive, displaying unnatural behavior and staring back at them with faintly glowing eyes. Terry Sherman drew his weapon and fired multiple rounds directly into the animal at close range. The beast didn't flinch, bleed, or fall. It simply stood there, absorbing the impact, before dissolving back into the darkness. The Shermans were forced to realize that the defenses they relied on to survive the wild, firearms, physical force, and the basic laws of biology, were entirely useless against whatever was stalking their herd. The threat soon expanded upward. The family reported enormous, silent crafts hovering above the fields, and brilliant orange portals tearing open in the night sky. Then came the psychological toll. The Shermans reported hearing deep male voices speaking in unknown languages from the empty darkness above them, with no physical source in sight. Down on the ground, the family began discovering their cattle dead. Some animals were completely drained of blood, while others had impossibly precise surgical incisions, including perfectly carved holes directly into their eyes. There was never any trace of an attack, no predator tracks, no human footprints, and no disturbed earth to suggest the animals had even put up a struggle. This was a methodical, targeted dismantling of their livelihood that forced the terrified family to abandon the property after just 18 months. In 1996, the aerospace billionaire Robert Bigelow quietly purchased the isolated land. He assembled a private research group, the National Institute for Discovery Science, aiming to apply rigorous methodology to the anomaly. He deployed armed guards and a team of scientists, wiring the property with motion sensors, adding surveillance cameras and radiation detectors to finally capture hard data. But the phenomena actively evaded their traps. Invisible forces interfered with the monitoring equipment, and researchers reported seeing massive humanoids with glowing yellow eyes crouching high in the trees, always just out of the camera's reach. Their high-tech surveillance network yielded nothing concrete. Intellectual superiority and empirical observation proved just as ineffective as Terry Sherman's rifle. The most disturbing phase of the investigation emerged when the scientists realized the activity wasn't staying on the ranch. It was attaching itself to the visitors, a phenomenon researchers eventually called the hitchhiker effect. As this map visualizes, the anomaly radiated outward. When investigators left Utah, they unknowingly carried the disturbance with them, pulling the phenomena hundreds or thousands of miles into their previously safe homes. The families of the research team began experiencing severe, unexplainable nightmares. Dark, indistinct shadow figures started appearing beside their beds and standing silently in the doorways of empty rooms. Driving away from the property offers no protection. Skinwalker Ranch acts as an epicenter for a psychological contagion that follows its visitors home. Skeptics point to the lack of peer-reviewed, reproducible data, arguing that these stories are likely a mix of misidentified natural events, tall tales, or entertainment-driven myth-making. Yet a staggering number of highly trained observers, police officers, career ranchers, and credentialed scientists have reported identical experiences. Many of these hardened professionals remain so disturbed by what they saw that they refuse to ever step foot near this boundary again. Regardless of what exactly hides in the Utah desert, the site endures as a patch of earth that human intellect and force have entirely failed to conquer. It stands as a chilling reminder that some places simply do not want us there.